Hey guys, welcome back to ARTFX Studios. This is another Tutorial Tuesday, and as you remember, I asked you guys to actually come up with something for this track and to turn this into a collaboration with me. There have been two submissions that have done a collaboration submission. There's one submission that is actually more like a remix that I actually pretty like. So the guy who did a remix, I forgot your name, but I really liked it, and let me know as soon as you finish it. I might actually upload it on my YouTube channel because it's a pretty cool remix. One of the guys that sent in a collaboration, I'm not too sure if I'm hearing the same thing that they did. I opened up the project and there was one layer that they added to, I think it was the intro of the track, not even to the drop. And the thing that they added sounded just like a really low, almost inaudible sub-frequency kind of sound. There was one plugin on it that I could not open because I don't have the plugin, which was the de-esser plugin. Now I'm not too sure about that, but I don't think the de-esser is really going to make such a big difference to the sound that it will sound completely different from what I heard. But from what I heard, I don't know why you added it to the project. You might want to clarify something, but the sub sound that I heard was almost inaudible, and I don't think that something like that fits the tune. Now, there was one other guy who actually sent in a submission, and this is the guy, a guy called Nuance. That's his producer name. And I listened to the project. At first I was like, okay, wow, he's done a lot of stuff and it sounds quite harsh at some points in the track. But when I listened to it more and more, I did realize that there were a lot of stuff in this particular project that he sent me that I actually liked. So he did a pretty good job because he has actually labeled everything. So every track that is white, so all of these tracks on the top right here and a couple of ones down there are things that he either added or that he changed. And it's pretty cool because it does give you a pretty interesting thing, I guess. Let's just I'm just gonna play you this project file, and then we're gonna go one by one through all of these layers that he's added, and I'm gonna tell you why I like them or why I don't like them, and then we're just gonna find out what we're gonna use and what we're not gonna use, and that will most likely be for the next Tutorial Tuesday video where I'm actually gonna be working with these parts. I do think I'm gonna use this collaboration as the one that is actually gonna end up on the tune. There's quite some stuff that I don't like, but there's also a lot of stuff that I do like, and I think the stuff that I don't like, a lot of the things in there I can fix, you know, using mixing and other little techniques. So I gotta work with that, but I'll play this first, and then we're gonna be working on this and looking into the project. So there we go. 3, 2, 1.
This is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is the beginning.
So that's about where we ended. There is a lot that has been added to this project, and I hear a lot of things that I like. But I do hear that we need to do a lot of mixing on this, because otherwise it's not really gonna work. Now, I'm just gonna turn off all the layers that he added. Like that. And he did some changes to that one, I think. No, he hasn't done any changes. This one is just freezed. And this one is just freezed. Pretty sure about that. Oh yeah, he did add this particular layer, which I already took out. The thing he did is he processed the electric guitar to sound like that. Not too sure if I like that. So I took it out immediately, because I don't think it sounds that good with that particular sound in there. So I'm just gonna keep my own guitar. I do understand why he has done it. He wanted to do probably something with Oh, he's done some interesting stuff right here in the end. Let's listen to that. That is something interesting that we could use. I do like that. It is an interesting thing that he has done. We might want to change that a little bit. One thing that I don't like is the really distorted sound that we get from this, because the guitar is already quite distorted and the intro is already sounding really big. I don't think adding even more distorted guitars is going to do the track a lot of justice. I think what is going to happen is that we're only going to make the intro even bigger. And if we make the intro even bigger, that will mean that we have to make the drop even bigger than the intro, and we're already quite struggling making the drop as big as the intro, or even bigger than the intro. So I don't think adding this layer is going to do a lot of justice to the actual tune, and it's not going to make it easier to transition into the drop. But I do like this effect, and what I might want to do is take that electric guitar layer. I'm going to duplicate it. So now I have that additional guitar layer in here, and I can just stretch that out, by the way, because it's just the same sound all the way through. I'm gonna copy the thing that he did. I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm just gonna gradually bring this in like that. That's most likely what he has done. And now I'm gonna copy over that auto pan, because I do like the effect that he's doing. Sorry. So we have that auto pan on here now. I can turn this one off and this one on. So now we should get a similar thing. We're getting a similar thing now. I'm going to try to sort of like use that same thing that he has done on this, but without the distortion. So let's get started. I'm gonna add an EQA to that right before the auto pan, and I'm just gonna take out all of the low end. Let's see how that sounds. So just adding that layer, I think this sounds better than what he had. I like this without the distortion. Now, the other thing I don't like is when that effect kicks in, it just starts right at full volume. So we don't have any of the effect right here. Or let's play it from here. And then the effect kicks in. I think that sounds quite okay, but because we took out a lot of that high end, a lot of the low end, I think this got quite quiet, I think. So that sounds good, but you can hear that jump right at the end. I'm going to extend this length so that it's not gonna cut out the effect right at the end. And I'm also gonna extend this part like so it's not gonna jump back. Let's make it sound a little bit better. There's still some weird stuff going on there, but I don't really think it's a problem. I think this sounds quite good, by the way. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep that. I like that. So I'm gonna color everything that I like into a particular color. Let's see what color I haven't used yet. Let's do something hot pink. I haven't used hot pink. Let's do that. So I'm gonna color all the layers that I'm gonna use in that pink color, and everything that I'm not gonna use is going to be, let's make it a light pinkish color. So I like that electric guitar. It does sound really good. I like how that, you know, I like that effect. It does add something nice to it. So I'm gonna keep that. Now let's get into it. Let's see what else he has done, because he's done a lot. If I look at the tune, right at the start, he has added this ambience layer. So let's take a listen to that in solo and see what it actually sounds like. So that ambience layer is made up of two sounds, I can see. We have this particular sound, which sounds like a resampled thunder. Yeah, it's pretty much a thunder sound, as you can hear, as you can see. And then we have this layer. I quite like that. You know, it does sound interesting when it's being added to the track. Only thing that I don't like is that first initial hit. I think, first of all, it's way too loud, so I would bring it down. Just really low in volume. And I think immediately it sounds much better. The other thing I want to do is right on that sound, I want to take out all of the low end, because we don't need that low end. It does take away some of the rumbling in a thunder sound, but we don't actually need it. You know, there's this really, we have the reverb kick drum right at the start. We have these big drums right at the start. And they already contain the low end. So we don't really need that low end in the thunder sounds, because the bigger orchestral drums are actually gonna fill that up. So that would work much better. I also see that he has high-passed these layers. Might want to high-pass it slightly further. I do like the ambience of the rain that we're getting, by the way. It's a cool effect. One thing though, I think you can hear a really slight click at the end of each of these clips. That is not something that you would want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fade these into each other. So just giving them that small fade. Just bring that in, bring that back. And this is a little bit of a time-consuming thing to do, but it is gonna minimize the amount of clicks that we are going to get between each of these clips. And that is something that you would always want to do. You don't want to, if you're cutting clips up, always add these fades, because otherwise you're going to get weird clicks. You might not hear the clicks in the final mix that much, but all of these clicks together are essentially going to do harm to your sound. Sometimes the clicks might end up sounding like something glitchy that actually works, but most of the time you don't want to have these clicks. Now on this particular sound, the clicks are really really quiet. You can barely hear them. So doing these fades on this particular layer is not really gonna do much of a difference, but the difference that it does is quite, well, not quite big, but it is actually something that I would do every time I make a tune and I cut these clips up. So I think we're almost done through this. Yeah, almost done. I do like the fact that they added these Foley layers. I really like the Foley stuff on this track. I was planning to do some stuff with Foley on this tune, by the way, but I hadn't really gotten to that point. But he already did something with the Foley stuff, and I quite like that. So that's it. We've done the entire clip. There's another one right here, which I might want to do later on, but I'm not going to do that right now. I want to save you some time. So the clicks that were there are now completely gone. So I like the ambient sound that we're getting from this. It does sound quite good. I do want to see what he's done with the autofilter though. Okay, he's filtered it out right at the end there. Yeah, I just might want to keep that. I think that sounds okay. I'm going to cut out the EQ8 right here, because this is in a group and I saw that he's actually adding a high pass to both the tracks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one high pass on the group, because we don't need multiple high passes. If we're going to high pass these both, then just do it like that. We're going to get pretty much the same thing. Just going to bring it slightly down in volume. I don't want this to be too loud. Let's see, next thing that was added. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's this layer that comes in next. So let's just have a listen to that. It's called Guitar, and I did do something to this, I guess. Yeah, by default it was at like that and set to complex. So this is what I got. And there was some kind of a delay on here. It's detailed up. It's an AU music effect. I can't use those because I'm on Windows, so I'm not too sure what this actually added, how much of delay it was adding. But the first thing I noticed is when I looked at these clips, I saw that the clip that's being used is in the key of F. So it's an electric guitar in the key of F, and my tune is in the key of G. So pitching this up 2 semitones would bring it into the right key. Not precisely, because I'm using a G Phrygian, and this is most likely a minor scale, but they're pretty similar, so I could use that. But when I looked at the clips, I could see he was pitching the F guitar loop down 8 semitones. Now, I looked at it, and 8 semitones will turn this from an F into an A. Now, my tune is not in A, my tune is in G, so this, if I listen to it, it doesn't really sound out of tune, but it is out of tune. So I tried lowering this to -10. It doesn't really sound that well. By the way, this guitar does sound really weird because it's pitched so heavily. The other thing I tried, though, is that when you pitch this up 2 semitones, so we're just going to pitch this entire part up 2 semitones, and I'm going to turn this to Complex Pro because that usually sounds a little bit better. We get something that is now actually in a G. It's slightly higher pitched as well than what he intended to do. And I like that. I have to say, I do like the sound of that. However, again, of course, I mean, again, you can clearly hear. Well, it's not too apparent right now, but when I listen to the initial thing that he made, which was at -8, and at the complex setting, you can again hear these clicks really clearly. And that's again because he most likely has not added the fades. As I said, there are no fades in here, and most likely these are not chopped at the 0 crossing point. As you can see, we get these little jumps in the audio signal. So those jumps right over there, those are what actually creates the click. Now it's really, I don't know if you can hear it, but the click is so small. What I would do is I would add fades to every single clip of this. And that's a lot of work. You know, it's a lot of work to add fades to this, but I can see that there's some kind of a rhythm going on. It's this particular rhythm looped over and over again. So we could just add the fades to this and then copy that over until we have the whole thing. And that would most likely give us a much better result. I'm not too sure what he's doing over here. Looks like he's boosting the volume a lot. Yeah, 6 dB. I don't know why he's doing that, but I'm not too sure. Other than that, let's just delete that delay. I can also see that he's added a bunch of tracks right over here. We have a delay with a phaser on it. What is that doing? I'm not too sure if I like that delay thing. We might have to look at that later on, but for now I'm just gonna keep it in. Let's see. So initially what I thought I was gonna do is I'm just gonna select all of these guitars, and there is a difference in pitch already. -8. -8. -8. So these are pitched up 4 semitones. I really don't understand why he's doing this pitching, because it's essentially pitching it out of the scale, I think. And these are again really fucking loud. So no, I'm not too sure about this layer. I like the guitar in the start. I like that little thing that it adds to the intro, but I don't know if I'm actually going to use this. So I'm going to color it light pink. I'm just going to close that down. Next, let's close that a little bit. So next thing that is being added are the new drums that I can clearly see and hear. And the drums, when they kick in, the first thing I thought, oh my god, it's way too... The transition between this part before the drums and when the drums kick in is way too abrupt. I mean, just listen to it. So they come in, you know, like really loud. That's the first thing I have to say. I can look at the group in particular, and okay, so there's clearly stuff in there that I don't like. That's one thing that I have to say for sure. The first layer that's being added is this one. So there's a whole lot of reverb on that. I'll have to look where that reverb is coming from. It's coming from this. And there's still reverb on here, but I think that might actually just be part of the sound. Yeah, there's definitely reverb on the sound itself. Let's see with just that layer what that is actually gonna do. So I do like it, but I think it's a little bit too much, actually. The intro is already pretty big sounding, and I like the sort of like the mysterious sound of the intro, I guess. And I feel that this drum layer takes away from that mysterious sound. It's a good sound, though. It's I like the thing that you're doing with it, what you're doing with it, but I'm not too sure if it's actually going to be good for this track. Then we have that other layer, which basically is the same sound, I think. Oh, it's the kick. First of all, what I don't like is the really abnormal high amount of reverb on here. And without the reverb, I can immediately hear why I don't like this. First of all, we hear all the clicks that I can hear. You can hear those clicks really clearly. The other thing what I don't like is I feel this is a little bit too much. it might work if we actually just filtered this. You know, like take a low pass filter or a high pass, that could also work. I'm gonna try a low pass and just zoom out a little bit so we can see the full buildup. This is the buildup, right? Yeah, that's the thing why I don't think this actually suits this part of the track. He is treating this as a build-up, but that's not what this is. This is just the transition between the intro and the build-up itself. So I feel like adding this layer in here is gonna take away from the whole intro. You know, it's gonna take away the mysterious sound of the intro because it suddenly becomes much more rock music-like. And even though I do have a lot of rock influence layers in here, especially with the electric guitar, I think that is about enough rock music influence for this track. I do like the drums right here in the build-up though. Those actually sound pretty good because that is where the drums need to build up that tension. So using those drums in the build-up does make sense. But using them right here in the intro, creating that really high amount of energy at this point in the track, I don't really think this track needs that. So I might have to split this up into several different parts, because here I don't like it, but here I do like it. So those are the two layers that were being added to that part of the track. Then we get this layer. Let me look at what that is. So it's a really harsh sounding ride with a lot of low end in it that we really don't need at all. So I would just, you know, high pass this around 1K. It doesn't really make a difference if we listen to it without the high pass. You see, it really doesn't make much of a difference. So all of the stuff down here, we don't need that at all. Again, this is the same thing again. We are using this in the intro of the track, and I don't think the intro needs this. So, I do think it makes more sense right here, where the actual build-up is. So I might use that in the build-up. I might keep it though, but not for this part of the track. Let's see, we have this layer, which I don't know what this is. Let's listen to it. Okay. Well, that is the layer in this particular group that I absolutely don't like. I don't know what his idea was with this particular sound, but I don't think it actually is sounding good. So no, I'm not going to use that one. So I'm going to keep it at a light pinkish color. We also have this layer. I like toms. I like the drum fills that you can make with toms, and I might actually use this layer, but again, not in this part of the track. I can see it's also here. Pretty much the same thing. One thing though about these rock drums, I like the idea. That's the first thing I would like to say. But the other thing is that I think they sound not realistic enough. So what I'm going to do, most likely, is if I'm going to use these parts in the final tune, what I'm most likely going to do is recreate these particular drum fills, these layers with the toms and stuff like that. And I'm going to spend a lot of time really making them sound as realistic as possible, because I feel realistic is sort of like what this track is sounding. There's a lot of real instruments in here, and the real instruments that are in here sound really realistic. So I think we need to get a more realistic sound on these drums. I do like them though, so I'm gonna make them pink. I'm just not too sure about this. So could make it another pink. Let's just do that. I also like these two, so I'm also gonna make those pink. I don't like that one. I liked this one, so I'm gonna make it pink as well. Then the next one, the next layer is this sound. Let's see what this is. I like the sound of that, but I think it needs a lot more reverb. Also, again, there's a lot of low end in here that we don't need at all. So just scoop that out of there. Still sounding almost exactly the same. That's about everything we need from this sound. I do like it, but I think it needs a little bit more reverb so that it blends in a little bit better. It might be a little bit quieter than it is right now, but I do like it. So I'm gonna keep that at the purple color or the pinkish color. Then the final thing is this one. So it's in the key of E. It's in the key of E, and he's pitching it down -5 semitones, which would make this a B note. Which is again weird, because that's not a note in the scale. I'm not too sure about this sound. And the other thing I'm not too sure about is why this is in the drums group. Because it's a growl bass, but let's see what's on here. Nothing, to be quite honest. Let's listen to it without the growls. Okay, so I don't really dig that sound. It's a cool sound though, but let's just listen to it without the pitching. I mean, that already sounds better. And if this is an E, that would mean 1, 2, 3. Pitching it up 3 semitones would make this into a G. And I actually think that sounds quite good, to be quite honest. Let's The other thing I don't get though is why nah, I don't dig this sound, so I'm gonna keep it like that and I'm gonna turn it off. So that's it for the whole metal drums layer. Let's color this pink because there's some stuff in there that I do like. But I did saw that right on my own drum layers. Let's see where it is. Not too sure. I thought he had done something on the drums, but I can't recall where he did that. If I find it, I'll talk about it, but for now, I'm not too sure where he did that particular thing. Let's just do this. Let's continue with the next sound. So we have that rock drums group that we talked about. We have the guitar group that we talked about that I don't like, that I don't think should be added to this. We have the ambient sounds. I do like that, so I'm gonna keep that pinkish. And let's take a look. What is the next thing that kicks in? I think it's these toms. I'm not too sure what is happening over here with this, but there's a lot on here. We have the EQ8, frequency shifter, phaser, reverb, utility. Then we get something else that I can read, and an EQ8 to cut out all the low end. Let's see what this actually adds. Okay, I do like that. It's a good thing, but again, I think it sounds a little bit too unrealistic. So we would have to change that later on. I do like the sound of it, so I might actually redo these and make them sound more realistic. I might do this with Superior Drummer, something like that. I think that would work pretty well. Oh wow, we're already 48 minutes in, and I still have so many layers to talk about. So the Marley toms, I talked about that. I colored them pink, but it doesn't show because this is freezed. So let's group that and make that pink. I'll export all of these layers to WAV files, by the way, and input them into my own project, because there's quite some stuff in there that I don't like, and I also I had a lot of groups set up in my own projects that are not in this one, so I'm gonna just take everything out of this project that I like and insert it into my own project. That's quite it for this part of the intro. Then right here he has this Vox Wet.
This is the beginning.
Okay, so he's actually just slightly pitching this down, and I think layering it with the other one that I had right here.
This is the beginning.
I do like the sound of that. It's a cool effect. He's doing the same thing over here.
This is the beginning.
Now, he made these particular ones 6 dB louder than the ones that are right here. I know why he has done that, because when you keep these at the normal level, they're almost inaudible right here in the transition between the drop, between the build-up and the drop. The reason that is happening is because he is really filling out the build-up a lot, especially that part right here. Now, most of these layers, if you look at them, and I'm talking about the layers that I created, you can see that I'm cutting them out right at that part of the track. And I do that because I wanted to create some space. I want to have the track to breathe a little bit, give it some time. All the compressors will just, you know, stop compressing because there's not much going on here. So all the compressors that are being triggered and stuff like that, just give every effect some time to drop back to its default position. And because of that, when the drop kicks in, the drop sounds much heavier and much louder because of the big amount of impact that you get. If we have something like this, where basically where basically just the drums just keep playing for that last two bars of the build-up, we're not giving the track that room to breathe, and the compressors will just keep on working, and they will still be compressing the sound as soon as the first sound of the drop kicks in. And because we're still compressing, we're losing a lot of impact, and we don't want that. So that's usually the reason why you would have that gap right in before your drop. Now, having that gap right there also means that that vocal will shine through a lot more. So if I take out the drums right here, I don't have to make this vocal as loud as it is. I do like it. I do like the whole effect with the vocal. So I'm going to make this pink again. I'm most likely going to use this and use this technique. I like it. It's a good thing. Then we get these extra drums. Okay. That's interesting. I like that. So what does that add?
This is the beginning.
I really like that. It's a good thing to do.
The beginning. The beginning.
And I think when I take out those toms,
the beginning.
I like it.
The beginning. The beginning. The beginning.
I can hear them when I create a little bit more of a realistic sounding tom fill. I think this would actually sound pretty good.
The beginning.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep that in here. Let's make it pink. We also get these sounds. Let's see what that is. I'm not too sure about that layer, to be quite honest. I'm gonna take out the EQ8s because they're not doing anything, so we don't need that. And then on here I would add an EQ8. And let's see. That's about everything we need from that. Now let's listen to it now.
Beginning.
No, I don't like that. I don't think we need this in the track, so let's make it light pink. There's also this one, this particular group. Oh, and there's a lot of stuff in this group going on. Let's listen to everything in here. Let's see what is going on. So we first have this layer. Now what is this? Okay. That might work, by the way.
This is the beginning.
I really like that. That's something I really like. It's a great effect. Sounds good. I do think you don't have to bring the level up 12 dB. I don't think you have to do that. So I might change that. you know, just make them as loud as these are. Again, this one looks, yeah. Oh, it's all part of a much longer clip. I might just go through this and balance these sounds a little bit more, because I think this one is much louder than this one. I can see that already by looking at the waveform. And same for this one, which is much louder. And I don't think that is needed. This one is even louder. I might wanna. I might redo that. I might yeah, I might redo the balancing of these sounds. That would work a little bit better, I guess. But I like the effect. It's a cool layer to add.
This is the beginning.
Makes it sound a little bit more interesting, and it's quite an interesting sound. So good job on that. It's layered with this sound. Okay, that is the sound that I heard in the intro, of which I thought it sounds weird because the beeping sound is only on the left speaker, and there's some other sound going on the right speaker. I do like that, but I don't like it on this particular track. There are tunes, like the more ambient kind of sound, the more ambient tunes, where this would actually work, and you could have a lot of these stereo differences going on in the tune. But for this one, I don't think it works. So he has made 2 of these. And as I said, it's an interesting sound, but I don't think the tune needs this. I'm gonna make them light pink. I do like the left part of the signal. Somehow. I mean, I do have to say that left part of the signal sounds pretty good. I could try something. Let's see. If I put a utility on here and tell the utility to use the left signal, I'm pretty sure we are now going to have that beeping sound on both the left and right speaker. We're still getting the right one as well. Might want to see how it sounds with this one. I do like it, but I'm gonna keep it out. You know, I don't think it's adding too much to the sound that is making this better. Then we have this layer. Now what is this? I've got some kind of a ride. I like rides, but I think there's a little bit too much low end in here. Also, what I don't like is that jump in volume right here. It's not too apparent, so it might actually just work. Let's listen to this. One thing that I do notice is that he has really used the panning to pan this to the right, and I'm not sure I would keep it at the center. And I would again add that same sound to here, that because I like that sound on there, and I might want to put that first kick drum right there as well. Yeah, that sounds much better. So having that actual kick drum in there that he added really helps to reinforce that part of the tune. Want to do the same thing. So we don't need to have that kick drum right here. That's good. Sounds nice. So I'm gonna keep that, making it pink. So, oh yeah, this one is gonna be pink as well because I like that. Then we get the crowd layer that he has used in the drop of the track, by the way. This is adding a bunch of ambient sound to the drop, I guess.
Beginning.
This might actually work, but there is way too much low end in here. That's one thing. I would like to just create an audio track and just take all of this and copy it down to that audio track so that we now get this as a full clip. And just do that. So now I have this actual sound as a clip. So I might have to look what is going on over here. So there's most likely some filtering going on right on this part because we get that weird kind of difference there. I don't know why that is, but I do like the sound of it, and it does fill out the drop a lot. But I think when I add an EQA to this, there's a lot of low end in here. I would do possibly something like that.
Beginning.
I'm gonna keep this light pink for now because I don't think, I think it makes the drop sound too crowded. I think a couple of drum breaks would work better than adding this collab rhythm layer. I do have some of these sounds that I have my own, that I have in my sample library, that pretty much do the same thing. It's a crowd clapping their hands, and I might actually want to try the ones that I have, see if those sound a little bit better, because I don't know, something in this sound, I just don't think it sounds too good. So I'm gonna keep that out of it. I have this track, which is this. So that's again a similar sound to the one that I heard in the intro, which I think was that layer. Just with less reverb. At least that's how it sounds. And again, this is way too loud. You can see it clipping over here, so I would have to add some processing to that. Do I like it? I do like it, so yeah, I will keep this in here. Let's make it pinkish. And there's a small hit. I guess it works. Then we have these two operator layers. I'll have to look what that is. That's an interesting sound. Okay, that's a really interesting sound. I really like that. I don't know what that particular effect is, but okay. I'm seeing some really interesting stuff on this one. Let's see those two together. I think they're filling up the gaps in the drop where there was not much of that. I do think it sounds good, but I think it gets lost a little bit because this one is so goddamn loud. I'll have to work on that, but I think I can make this work. So these two layers, I'm gonna make them pink. Now they are freezed, so you're not gonna see the pinkish color, but it should work pretty much. Then we have this layer. Let's see what that is. So that's the cowbell that I was hearing. I think somehow it actually sounds good with the cowbell in it. So let's make that pink. I might actually change it for a different sounding one, but I like the idea. It does fill out the drop a little bit. That's it for this entire group. So we look through that entire group. Now let's see what else we got. We got this riser. Again, I would chop out all of the low end and most likely add a little bit of a fade to the start.
This is the beginning. This is the beginning.
So I think that when we cut out these drums from the build-up and keep that riser in there, I think that would actually sound pretty good. You know, we are gonna chop out everything except that riser. So the riser will just continue and sort of like fade out slightly. And then we get that vocal.
This is the beginning.
I'm gonna think of it like this.
This is the beginning.
And that would work much better. I would most likely do something like...
This is the beginning.
Maybe do something like this.
This is the beginning.
I think that sounds quite good if we do that.
This is the beginning.
Maybe do it like that.
This is the beginning.
Yeah, I like that, so I'm gonna do that most likely. I do like the riser though, so I'm gonna make it pink again. Then we're almost through this entire thing. I check that group. We have this crash at the start of the drop.
Beginning. Beginning. This is the beginning.
Yeah, that crash does make the drop sound better. It sounds quite interesting. Then we have this crash, which I think is just the same one, but then reversed. Okay. Not sure about that second additional layer. Let's listen to it in context.
This is the beginning.
Okay, so he's actually done that right at the start of the second drop where we cut out the drums for a small part. That does make sense. Yeah, it does make sense. So I'm gonna make those both pinkish. I'll use that in the final track. Then we have this layer called Blip. Okay. Let's see what that does to the final track.
This is the beginning.
I don't think we need that, but it does spark my interest somehow. I might want to change the pattern, and I might want to change the sound itself, but I can hear some use in this. If it's a different sound, I guess. It's there to fill out the drop. It's really in the background, so it's not really something that is up front in the mix. So I'm gonna keep it purple for now, but I'm gonna turn it off. That way I'll know that I like the something in this, but I do need to work on it a lot. Then we have this one, the Hoover. That's a cool sound. That's a really cool sound.
This is the beginning.
Are these audio clips? Yeah. They're freezed audio clips. Not too sure about the notes used, if these notes are actually the right ones, but I can always pitch these up and down if needed. This one is considerably louder than the other ones though. So I might want to bring that down in volume to bring it more closer towards each other. What about the effects on here? There are some effects on this that I don't have, so I might have to work with this a little bit, but I like that sound, so I'm gonna keep it pink. Then we have another cowbell. With a lot of reverb.
This is the beginning.
Even though it's a cowbell, I mean, I don't normally use cowbells, but it does add some more fullness to the drop, I guess. I'm not too sure about the cowbell. Might want to change that for a different percussion instrument, but I can see some kind of a hand drum might work. It has a slightly less high frequency sound than the cowbell, but it's still a percussive instrument, and I feel that might actually work. So let's make it pink. Then we have chase hats. So those are the more high pace hats that give the second part of the drop a little bit more pace, I think. Let's listen to that. That could work. I'll keep them pink. I do think we could high pass this a lot higher, because I don't think we need I can go up until here without hearing much of a difference, so just cleans it up a little bit more. And then we have a growl. Let's listen to that growl. Not too sure about that sound. So it's the Terra Squad sound. Okay, he's pitching it up and down. I like that one. And this one, I think it sounds a little bit weird, but it does sound okay. The idea is good. Yeah, I like that. I do think I'm gonna take it out right here, and I'm only gonna use it in the second part of the drop. Yeah, I like that. So let's make it pink again. So we're pretty much going through everything now. I think I've almost had everything that he added. There's one little layer left, and that is this particular layer. It's called Break Wet. Now I'm pretty sure it's just a normal break, except he's done some stuff to it. EQ'd it, a compressor, audio effect rack, most likely to make it sound a little bit more interesting. I don't know what is on here. Might want to look at that later on. An EQA to high pass it, and then another compressor to bring the level up. So it's most likely a delay that's being added. So with the normal break. Yeah, that really fills out the drop, which is good. It's something that we needed a lot. The difference is quite big between this. So this is without.
This is the beginning.
And this is with.
This is the beginning.
Yeah, I like that a lot, but I do think it can do with a little bit less reverb. But I'm gonna change that later on. Don't worry. I do like that. So I think that's it. All the other things that are white are just freeze tracks that I had in here already. I don't know about that group. Okay, that's the bass. And then I have the top layer of the bass. We can take this out of the group. Yeah, but that's just one of the layers that I had in here already. So that's it. That's everything he has added, changed. I like the majority of it. If we look at all these tracks now, the majority of the things in here I like, and I will most likely use. The things that I don't like, you can easily see the guitar right here, the robot sounds right there. The blips need a little bit of work. The rock drums need a lot of work because there's quite some stuff in here that I don't like. But there's also stuff in here that I do like, but the stuff that I do like needs some work. It needs to sound more realistic. But I'll be able to do that. I'll work on that some more. Yeah, other than that, I think Nuance, you've done quite a good job, and I'm pretty sure that this is gonna end up in the final track. So good job. You're gonna be on the final tune. I hope you like that. Other than that, I do think we need to do a lot more work on this. I thank you, by the way, for helping me out here, because I was pretty stuck, and I think using this, I can move on with the track and get something cool out of this. Now, that was it for this week's video. There's not going to be much production stuff in this week. Next week, I'm not going to be doing a tutorial Tuesday. I'm going to say that already, because next week I'm not going to be at home. I'll be going to France next week just to shoot some photographs, having a little holiday, by the way. And, you know, just going to spend some time in the mountains, shooting some photographs, and hope to come back with a whole bunch of cool photographs. So because of that, I'm not going to be doing a tutorial Tuesday next week. However, I am going to post a couple of videos when I'm in France. I'll be making a couple of videos these coming days, and I'll upload them already, and I'll plan them in so that when I'm in France, the videos will be published. So you guys will still get a tutorial video next week, but it's not going to be a tutorial Tuesday. When I'm going to be back from my holiday, which is I'm going to be away for 1 week, and after that week I'll come back and I'll basically just continue the tutorial Tuesday season. We'll be working more with this track, and I'll continue with actually working with these elements. So when I'm back, we are going to start working with this. So if you still think you can add something to this, then download the project file that I uploaded not that long ago. You can still download it. You can still add your own stuff to it and send it to me. The thing is, though, that we have this now, so I might not need a lot of the stuff that you're gonna add. But the thing is just that you might actually spark some more interest in me, and you might actually inspire me to do something. So, and you know, and if there's somebody else who comes up with something really cool for this track, you know, I might even add it. You know, there's no rule telling me that you can only collaborate with one guy at the same time. You know, we could add, you know, we could do a collaboration with 2 or 3 or 4 people at the same time. I don't care. You know, it's just, I want to make this into a really good tune, and I want to give you guys an opportunity to help with that and to be on the tune. So, everybody who comes up with something that I like will end up in the final tune. So if you actually think, you see this video and you think, now, I have a pretty good idea for this, and I think I would have been able to add some really cool stuff, then don't be afraid, don't hesitate, download the project from Splice and add your own stuff. Send it to me as soon as I'm back from holiday. I'll look at it, and if I like it, I'll do another one of these videos, and after that, I'll basically just incorporate all the things that people have contributed that I liked, and I'll add them all into my own project. You know, fine-tune little bits and pieces, do some more mixing to make everything fit. But that will be what I'm gonna do. So a lot of this stuff will end up in the final tune. If you know something else you want to do it. That's it for this week's video. If you like this video, then please subscribe to this channel. If you want to see more of these videos, then come back every Tuesday. There's a tutorial video basically every Tuesday, and in between there, I'm trying to do more videos. Lately, there's not been too much videos. I've tested lately to do a lot more videos in 1 week. I managed to do more than 7 videos in 1 week. I can do that. I'm able to keep up with that, but there's so much more stuff that I do that I'm not gonna do it right now. It was just a test to see how many videos I could make in a week, and even though I made about 7 in 1 week, I think it's even more. I think I made about 9 videos in 1 week. It proved to me that I'm able to keep up with that, but at the other time, at the other side, I have so much other stuff that I do, so I'm not going to do it that much. I'm not going to make that much videos in 1 week, but it was sort of like a test to see how far I can take it. And 9 videos a week is most likely way too much. So what I'll do is I'll most likely end up doing about 3 or 4 videos in 1 week and have like a couple of days left to do the other stuff that I do. Now, for the other stuff that I do, everybody of you who follows me on Facebook or Twitter most likely has already seen what I've been doing in the last few weeks. I've been going onto trips that we call urbex, and urbex is sort of like a short name for urban exploring. Now, urban exploring, what it is you go to usually an abandoned building. This could be any kind of building. This can be a house, this can be a big mansion, this could be a castle, but this could also be a factory or an abandoned amusement park or a swimming pool, anything basically that's abandoned. And what we go, as an urban explorer, what you do, you go to these places and usually you shoot photographs of the place. Some urban explorers just do it for the experience, they just go there. Other people just go there to shoot photographs. And I'm the one who goes there to shoot photographs. So I did a lot of that in the past, and I mostly had like really small farmhouses and stuff like that we had close to my house, and we had a couple of old residential buildings that I've been into right before they were demolished, but it's nothing really big, it's nothing really spectacular. You know, most of these sites that I had visited were really simple sites, just nothing too spectacular. So I wanted to do more of that. I wanted to do more urban exploring, and I was pretty much aware of the whole urban exploring scene, and that there's a lot of urban explorers going to Belgium. So I spend a lot of time researching different locations in Belgium, and the thing is, it's so difficult to find these actual locations. You need to think of it like this. We have a globe, we have a world, and everywhere on this planet there are abandoned buildings. It's just that the majority of the buildings are not abandoned. So finding abandoned buildings in between all of these non-abandoned buildings is like searching for a needle in a haystack. I think it's called like that. And that proves to be really difficult. You know, you can try and find something, but if you don't know where to look or what to look for, it's going to be really difficult to find buildings to go into. An easier thing to do is if you know some locals who actually know about the abandoned buildings in their region. This could work, you know, but trying to get in touch with a lot of local people is also not something that is easy to do. So what you essentially would do is I go to urban exploring websites and I look at photographs of other urban explorers and I see that they've been into buildings, and you would think, okay, just look up the name of that building and see where it is. But the thing with urban exploring is that most urban explorers go to a location and there is like one unwritten rule within urban exploration, that is leave nothing but footprints and take nothing but pictures. So you're not going to break into a building. That's one thing. You're not going to move things around. You're not going to demolish stuff. You're not going to vandalize the whole place. And that is one of the unwritten rules of urban exploring. So all urban explorers most likely will follow that rule. But the thing, these buildings are usually really old, and a lot of them will be completely trashed. And that's what happens usually when a building is abandoned. People find out about the place, especially young kids find about the place. They go in, write graffiti on the walls. They might destroy some of the furniture. They might destroy other things, kick in some doors and stuff like that, destroy the windows. That's what happens a lot of times. And over time, the location will sort of like wear down, and until it gets to the place where it's so decayed and so much broken down that it will just fall apart. And there's another group of people, and those are the kind of people that look for these places, because usually these places are completely trashed. But there are always a few locations that are abandoned that not many people know about. And these are the locations that will usually have furniture in them. They will have maybe paintings on the walls. They might have a lot of stuff that belongs to the original owners still in the building. And a lot of these buildings are really interesting for photographers, but also for people who want to do bad things. And I'm talking about people who want to steal stuff. There are a lot of thieves going into these buildings, because when there's still stuff left from the original owners, there might actually be stuff in there that's worth quite a lot of money. And that's a reason why urban explorers don't normally include the actual name of the location. So instead, they will come up with a nickname. And because of that nickname, most people, when they type in that nickname, will only find similar photographs of photographers or urban explorers who've been to that building. And they won't find the actual location. So therefore, we're trying to preserve the location and make sure that not everybody is going to go there, especially the people with wrong intentions. You should never forget that these sites, these buildings, are usually still owned by somebody. And when it's a house or a mansion, then there is a big chance that there's still stuff left in there which belongs to those owners. So if I'm gonna go to one of these places and include the actual name of the building, then you can just type it in Google, find the address, and go there. And there's a big chance that there's going to be photographers who are going to find out about the place and going to go there. But there's always the chance of thieves and people who are looking for, there's a lot of metal in these buildings where they would strip out of the building. They would take all the metal out and bring it to these places where you can bring metal and get money back for it. So a lot of those things, you want to keep those people away from the buildings, because if not, those people are going to be the ones who are really going to destroy the building. And what usually happens is when the local government finds out about the vandalizing and stuff like that, they will usually shut the building down. They'll board it up completely, put fences around it, or even demolish it. And that's something that I don't want. I want to preserve these places so that I could actually go back to it about 2 or 3 years from now and see how far the location has actually deteriorated over time. So we've been doing a lot of these trips, and I have actually found a lot of locations in Belgium, and I've made up a list of a lot of locations that I still want to visit. And last weekend we went to the last weekend we went to the western part of Belgium to shoot a lot of photographs, and we actually visited 4 locations. We visited 5 locations, but one of the locations was demolished, so it wasn't there anymore. But we ended up entering 4 of the 5 locations that we went to that day. So that's a pretty good ratio, and we actually saw quite a lot of stuff. I'm editing the photographs as we speak, so I've uploaded 4 photographs already, one of each the locations that we visited. You can actually see those photographs right now. It's on my Facebook page. I made a new Facebook page for my photography. It's facebook.com/ARTFX photography. One word, just go there and like the page. I'll be posting all of the other photographs pretty soon. I'm editing them now. I'm basically gonna do it for each location at a time. So the first one will be, the first upcoming one will be a series of photographs that I shot at an abandoned concrete factory. After that, I'll be doing one of a villa, of a chateau, big mansion. Basically, chateau is the French word for mansion. So that's a really big mansion, by the way. It was an amazing place. I think that was about the best urban exploring location that I visited in my lifetime. Then we also had a monastery, which we went to, which was quite interesting as well. I put the photos up, and on our way back home, we found a couple of abandoned German trains right next to the road. So we stopped there and we looked at them. I'm going to be uploading those photographs in the upcoming week, most likely. I hope to finish editing all the photographs because before I leave to France, because then I'm going to be shooting a lot more photographs. But it's a lot of photographs to edit, so I might actually not be able to do that in time. But I'm going to try to do that. Now, that's it. 1 hour 38 minutes. Whoa, this video is already really long, but I hope you like it. I hope you like to hear a little bit more about what I do. I don't just make music, you know. Music is one part of the creative process that I do. I'm a creative person, you know. I like to do creative stuff, and music is just one side of that. I went to art school, you know. I'm a graphic designer. I love to shoot photographs. I love to draw. I love to make music. And all of these things together are stuff that I do. Now, photography has always been something I do for fun, just because I like it. But I do feel and see that my photographs, especially the last time that I've been uploading my photos, I've really been getting a lot of great responses of other people. And I really like that, you know. I even though it's just for fun, it's always really nice to hear when people actually like these places, that when they like the photos. And it's even more great to actually hear reactions of other people who have also been there or who do similar stuff. I'm always up there to connect with other people, and especially with other photographers doing the same kind of thing, but maybe in a different country, you know. Who knows what I'll be doing and where I'll be going next. In the future, I might actually go to outside of Europe to visit these places, you know. I mean, there's so many places left for me to check out right here in Europe. But after that, I'll be doing this for the rest of my life, pretty much. I mean, there might be there might be some time where I'm not going to be able to do this anymore because I'm too old. But up until that time, I can see me doing this a lot. I don't know, it just attracts me. I think it's all about the fact that I'm a pretty curious person. So when I walk by a building and I see it's either boarded up with wood, or there's fences all around the building and there's a sign saying that you're not allowed to go in there, I get curious, you know? And that's when my curiosity is gonna play up. I want to know what's behind those boarded windows. I want to know what's behind those fences. I want to know how it looks inside. And why I want to know that is because I know that when these places are abandoned and when these places are either boarded up or surrounded by fences, it's going to keep most people outside. And the majority of the people would walk by the building, not even noticing the fact that it's abandoned. They would just walk by it, and especially people who live in that area, they won't even notice it anymore, and it's just part of the cityscape around them, you know. And I feel, especially because these places wear down, you know, they decay. So after a bunch of years of decay, these places are in such a far state of decay that they either get demolished or they just collapse. And I want to be one of those guys who has went in there to document the place before either demolishing happens or the building collapses. And the coolest thing is when I go to a location where and I then get a response of people who have actually worked there. So that's even cooler. I've had one guy actually contacting me about a location where I've been, and he had actually worked there, and he hadn't seen the location for about 5 years or something like that. And I posted the photographs online, and he actually sent me an email saying, I work there, and I really thank you for putting these photographs up, because I haven't seen this place in like 5 years. And when I saw your photographs, it really brought back a lot of good memories. And still, for him, it was difficult to see the place right now because it's in such a big state of decay. But at the other side, he was really happy that there's still people interested in this place. And people like me will go there to photograph this place and to show other people about this place, you know. And that's he really liked that, you know. He appreciated that a lot, and that's why he wanted to say thanks to me. So that's really cool. I like the fact that these photographs connect people somehow, you know. I feel it's more than just taking photographs, you know. It's going to these abandoned buildings. It's the actual experience. It's the photographs, but it's also a lot about meeting other people. You know, when you go to these places, there is a chance that you're going to run into other photographers or other explorers who are just doing something. And it's great to meet with these people. You know, there's all kinds of people. Lately, we went to an abandoned village and in Belgium too, and we met up with a whole bunch of French people. We had a pretty good conversation, and it was actually pretty nice. We talked about one of the residents of the village, who is one of the few still left there. It's like a crazy old guy with a baseball bat and just driving around in his car, waiting for urban explorers to come so he can, you know, like frighten them with his baseball bat. And we had a talk about that while the guy was actually following us with his baseball bat next to him in his car in the passenger seat. And these other people were like it were a couple of French chicks, and they were really frightened about the guy. They were really like, oh my God, he's really crazy. He's really, he's scary. And I mean, I'm not scared for an old crazy guy with a baseball bat. I mean, I'm walking around with a tripod that's probably heavier than his baseball bat. So I'm not too scared for that. What is he gonna do with his baseball bat? I mean, come on. What is he gonna do? Is he gonna smack me? Well, I wish him good luck. It's a fucking old guy, so I really wish him good luck with that. But we had a good conversation, you know, and we actually ended up walking around with those people. We ended up exchanging email addresses, and it's cool, you know. It's a cool thing, and I feel like we've been doing this a little bit more lately. We've been trying to do more and more of these trips, and I feel like this is going to be a big part of me in the upcoming years. So if you like to see those photographs, if you like this, then go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/ARTFX photography, and let me know what you think of the photographs. I would love to hear what you guys think of it. Now, that's enough talking. This video actually ended up being a little bit long. 1 minute and 4... Why am I keep saying 1 minute? 1 hour and almost 46 minutes. I hope to see you back next week. Not on Tutorial Tuesday. I think it's going to be a bass design or lead design, something like that. Yeah, I hope to see you back next week, and I hope to see you on my Facebook page. See you soon. Peace.